you ready to branch out, to take a leap of faith, to love yourself and others fully? Then let go of whatever no longer serves you to take action now on Get Rooted Radio with Erica Gifford Mills, living it up, loving it up, and letting it go. Erica will energize and excite you to power up your passionate dream that sets your soul on fire. With Erica's E3 approach, equipping, empowering, and enlightening yourself so you can be yourself for yourself. Get ready and get rooted to live a life without regrets, without what ifs, without should haves, and especially without empty feelings from a life unexplored. This hit show helps you build powerful and intentional roots to live it up, love it up, and let it go. Get fearlessly ready and powerfully rooted in your yes with your host, Erica Gifford Mills, and be fearless about your more and stand in your yes. Now on Get Rooted Radio.
Welcome, everyone. I am Erica Gifford Mills, and you are listening to Get Rooted Radio, living it up, loving it up, letting it go, right here on Transformation Talk Radio. A big shout out, as always, to my producer today, Nat. Nat, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, Erica. Excited for today's show.
I am as well. And today's episode is titled Visibility in a Virtual World. I want to tell you a bit about my guest first. Dr. Patricia Rogers is the CEO of Unity in Service, which empowers entrepreneurs with affordable opportunities to gain visibility and authority. She leads transformative initiatives like collaborative books, public speaking opportunities, and podcast interviews that amplify brand awareness that increases your visibility. And we all need that. Unity in Service, Inc. connects individuals and professionals with ideal audiences and build sustainable growth through virtual and in-person networking events. A retired corrections lieutenant with 29 years in law enforcement and a 12-year U.S. Armed Forces veteran, a big thank you for her service. Dr. Rogers is also a 2-time winning public speaking champion, a 2-time international best-selling author, and skilled social media strategist. Her passion equips entrepreneurs to thrive and achieve lasting success. Thank you so much for being on the show today, Dr. Patricia.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm so happy that you had me on here, Erica. I was excited just to know that I had this interview coming up, and boy, I tell you, you certainly shows up on time.
Well, thank you so much. And I want to first start off by telling listeners how you got started and really just more about Unity in Service, Inc.
Okay, I'm glad you asked that question. I get that question a lot, especially the title Visibility Strategies. It kind of captures people's attention. But I got that title, I'm going to tell you, I started this entrepreneur journey in 2015, really. I registered for my business, but I retired. I was still working for the corporate arena. For 29 years, I worked for corporate arena, Dade County Department of Corrections, and I knew I was going to be retiring, so I went ahead and started a business company name and all of that in 2015. I also joined Women's Prosperity Network, which is an organization that teaches us how to become entrepreneurs. So, of course, when I retired in 2016, I joined another organization, Bill Walsh Power Team USA. Basically, what I'm saying to the listeners, I made huge investments into the people who I saw had what I wanted, and I followed them. I made that investment, and I'm gonna say something. You cannot have success without sacrificing something. And in most cases, it's money and time. And so basically I discovered my gifts, which was hosting in-person events at that time. And I started hosting in-person events for free. And of course, in the trainings that I was receiving from those individuals, I learned that my gifts can be monetized. So I started hosting events, and the speakers started investing in their speaking opportunities, and we sold tickets for the events, as well as we started hosting them at hotels instead of my backyard. So that's how I got started. And the way the name Visibility Strategist came up is because annually we was hosting in-person events in Florida, Fort Lauderdale area every year. I was hosting monthly workshops and all of that because I love to teach. And what happened was, as you well know, in 2020, the pandemic hit. So when the pandemic hit, I had to do what everybody else do, and I had to pivot and shift to online.
Yes.
And May 14th, 2020 was the first virtual event that I hosted. And I taught how to do videos using your smartphone. And I had about 101 registrants for $10, and about 80 showed up. And that was the beginning of my journey. And from that, doing that consistently, y'all need to write that down. Consistently, I have not missed a beat, not 1 year, and mostly on every other, at least every 2 or 3 months. And I am teaching others how to host events now as well. So other doors of opportunity open. But the way Visibility Strategist came about was because when I was started doing my virtual events, I made virtual backgrounds, me and my team, for every 90 some odd people that was attending that event. We made virtual background. They weren't as pretty as this one is, but we did it because I believe in uniformity. I believe that when everybody pretty much looks the same, it speaks volume, and it creates more than an event. It creates an experience. And thus somebody texts me after few events that I hosted online. A lady texts me and she said, I have a download for you. Instead of you calling yourself the business development strategist, she said you should call yourself the visibility strategist, because you make an impact at these events that you host. And not only do you look good, but you make the attendees look good too. That's how I came about. And I
love that because because when you think about, visibility, we all need it, especially in a virtual world, and you did something that I think a lot of people maybe fail to do, is learn how to pivot, learn how to take your skills that you have and adapt, because not everything doesn't change. Everything doesn't stay the same. Everything changes. And that's something that's very important as we go through life, is how do we overcome, adapt, and keep moving? And I'm sure your military experience and your law enforcement experience had you well suited for that, but not everybody is. So, I really like that. The other thing we're going to talk about during this segment is exploring how one crafts a memorable brand, because it is making your brand memorable is essential and crucial for that long-term success and customer loyalty. Like, how am I going to be picked out of the crowd of all those people who are out there? So can you tell us, what are some tips and tricks and things to consider when we're trying to craft a brand, and a memorable one at that?
Okay, that's a great question, and that is definitely an important question, because branding is everything to our business. I always say that branding is definitely the bloodline as well as networking is to our business. And branding knows that means how we stand out in the presence of others, how others see us. And being visible, I already said it once, being visual consistently. And if you're posting consistently, people gonna see you. They can't help but see you because you're there. But as I say on my banner behind me, it says, if you're not there, no one sees you. That's the first thing, being consistent. And then using consistent colors. Everyone knows me. They call me the lady in red, because I am consistent with my branding. Red is going to be somewhere on my body, in my background, because when you see red, I want you to know that's Dr. Rogers, that's branding. And of course, visual harmony builds the recognition, and it builds trust, because when you're consistent with what you're doing, people are watching. Whether they say anything or not, they're watching. And those kind of attributes are what people want to follow, because it sends them a message. I get it all the time. Oh, I've been following you for 2 years. You still doing what you're doing? You still having events? Yes, I sure am, because it's branding. So people are watching when you don't know they're watching. We must also craft a strong voice. We have to, when I say strong voice, I'm loud by nature. And of course, being in the military, being in the law enforcement, 29 years working in the jails, I've learned to, escalate my voice. But when I say crafting a strong voice, that means to me being confident in what you're servicing people with. Even if you don't sell, have never sold but one item, when you present that item, anytime, you have to present it as if you have sold thousands. Why? Because of faith. Faith. I act as if it already is. And that to me is what developing a strong voice represents. Also, we must be professional in our dealings. I've had clients who do those little affirmations online, and I had to tell her, your affirmations are good until you get to those words of profanity. The absence of profanity is a bonus. Not saying you can't use it, but on these platforms, when we're trying to attract the correct people who we want to invest in us as business owners, we must present ourselves as such. So I always say, let your voice reflect your value. Telling stories. People love stories. People love stories. Why? Because people can relate to stories. People will remember you by a story. So release. Some people don't want to share that personal stuff, but let me tell you something. Those things that you don't want to share, that you want to keep secret, that's your story. And that's what people want to hear. And they listen to that because they like, oh, I thought I was the only one. Well, they're not the only one. I went through it too, and somebody else did as well. So be bold. It doesn't have to be a long drawn out story, but just tell your story. And lastly, I want to say you must deliver promises and keep them. You cannot deliver what you cannot promise. And I'm going to tell you something. It's sad to say, but on this entrepreneur journey, I must say that is one of the most disappointing things. And sometimes people think I forgot what they said that I was going to get with whatever that package I paid for. I didn't forget. And a lot of people don't forget. They just won't come back and do business with you anymore. And they're not going to tell you. Yeah. Now, if I know you well enough and I care enough about you because we know each other well, I will tell you. But you know what? Sometimes you don't tell people because you'd rather not go through the conflict. So you don't say anything. And then sometimes people wonder, well, why people not buying from me or why they're not? Because you got to check your disciplines, because nobody wants to be, I'm going in, lied to. Simple as that. Keep your word, make the promise, let your brand stand out and let it stand up on its truth. So whether it's transformation, quality, or care, always deliver the truth and be true to yourself first and then to the clients you serve.
So when someone's trying to think of how they can craft a memorable brand, right? Those are the things that we need to do once we have the brand. But what would you say to somebody who's just starting out, who isn't sure what maybe their mission? I mean, hopefully they know their values, but what they aren't really sure. How do I do that? What would you recommend for them?
Do you really want me to answer that truthfully?
Yes, for sure.
You want me to be, I'm going to tell you, the first thing they need to do is follow somebody who has what they want and get the training, invest in the training. Because if they find themselves trying to say, work alone, and don't want to make those investments in people who have already been there, who can hold their hand, carry them all the way, guess what? They're going to keep wondering that because you don't know what you don't know. So get
that mentor, right? Get that mentor, look to see. And I think that's important because some people, what I've heard from some people is that they don't want to do something that somebody else is doing. And while I understand that, you don't want to copy somebody, but if somebody has something that you want, you can learn from them. And we all had to have a teacher at some time in our life. I mean, I have mentors, I have coaches, because you need that, and you don't have the experience. You need to do that. And if you're not willing to invest in yourself, is somebody else going to be willing to invest themselves in you? And I think that's
right there.
That's something that we need to remember. I mean, we're always constantly growing, and in order to get where we want to go, you need to still do that. And I think that's a very fair point to make and comment to make.
You made a very valid point. And I say it all. I used to say it more, but it's my belief. I believe if you don't want to invest, if I don't want to invest in you, how in the world do I expect others to invest in me?
Yes.
And I say that because we set a platform for any entrepreneur who's starting out. That's why I say you got to follow the people who have what you want, because doors of opportunity opens and no man is an island. But when people come to me and they want to speak on our platform sometimes to be scheduled with me, and when I take them through everything, we have a 7-minute speaking opportunity for $197 on my website. We have a 15-minute opportunity for $297 on my website, $397. So it's already out there. But when I explain to them, and then I have gotten from time to time, I would get, well, I don't pay for speaking. Well, I don't pay for people to speak either. So, so my point is, I ask them, I say, let me ask you this. I said, what do you promote? What do you sell? How do you enhance the lives of your clients? Well, I sell a $3,000 coaching program, and I sell and all this plethora of things they sell. I said, so let me be clear. You want to get on my platform for free after me and my team that I have to pay to promote you and me and this event. You want to get on our platform for free and I don't get nothing. Is that what you're saying? I get nothing. Well, it's just that I'm not used to speaking. I said, well, I tell you what, I understand that, and that's your right. But my platform, Unity and Service platform, is not for you. We're looking for people who will pour into others so that others can pour into them. That's what we
absolutely. And if people have to stop thinking about it as paying to speak. It's paying to play, and you're playing if you can monetize that, right? And that's where they need to go to that next step. And that's what we're going to talk a little bit about that the next segment. So let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about developing a strong online presence. But before we go, Dr. Patricia, tell folks how they can connect with you and learn about your services, your events, and everything that you have coming up.
Well, the first thing we have coming up is on April the 25th. Thank you for this opportunity. And if you look at the link right below right there, it says servingothers.eventbrite.com. If this airs before the 25th,
it's going on right now.
Oh, wow. Okay. If this airs before the 25th, right now we have about 100 some odd. I think last check was about 106 registrants for this event. We always get a great deal of registrants, and that this event is going to, at our events, you will be able to do a three-minute, basically introduction, answer questions or whatever, session in our networking sessions. So we give everybody a voice. And then you'll also receive a copy of the chat that's going to have at least over 25 new leads in it, because we make sure our attendees drop those emails. We know how to get them. We don't want you to come in with no emails and leave with no. You're going to come in and leave with new leads. Now, and then you're going to get all of that content, the chat. You're going to get the chat with the leads. You're going to get a copy of the replay all within 72 hours after that event. Why? Because follow-up is so essential. And as some people do it, some don't. But I encourage everybody, you got to pick up that 500-pound phone. And all of our attendees will receive a virtual background. And we ask that you put it up. But if you don't, it's not mandatory, but it is mandatory for our speakers. They receive a customized virtual background, such as what I'm having here with their photo on it. And that's what differentiates those who invest in the speaking opportunities and then the attendees. The banner just says attendee. Our event is from 1 to 5 p.m. Best time to come is when we first get started, but any time of the day you can jump in. The main thing is, if you invest the $15 for the ticket, you will receive an actual email list ready to import into your email system because you made an investment. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. And then if you want to check out, you can go to my website at drpatriciarogers.com or patriciarogers.com. That's where I am.
Thank you so much. I'm Erica Gifford Mills, and you are listening to Get Rooted Radio. Living it up, loving it up, letting it go. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. we're back on Get Rooted Radio with Erica Gifford Mills. Living it up, loving it up, letting it go. Don't forget to visit getrootedradio.com to listen to a replay of this episode, sign up for helpful tips, and learn about upcoming events. That's getrootedradio.com. Welcome back to my guest, Dr. Patricia Rogers. Thank you so much for being on the show today. So during the last segment, we talked about Unity in Service, Inc., and how you got started, and also crafting a memorable brand. And during this segment, we want to talk a little bit more about developing that online presence, because we know just as you develop that brand, you need to then put yourself out there, and having that strong presence in the virtual landscape is really essential for success. So where does one start?
On social media. Oh, yeah. Yes.
So what platforms would you suggest? I mean, I know it probably differs, of course, by what people are doing, but what would you say the number one thing that they have to do is?
The number one thing, in my own opinion, that I teach people is the first thing we need to do is develop your profiles. We have to optimize your profile as such, and that's across social media, whether it's LinkedIn, Facebook, it could be TikTok, Instagram, whatever platform you are on, you must have a good profile. And some profiles allow you to make long introductions, and some allow you to just do a few words. But whatever you do, fill in the blanks. And not only that, you must have a nice photo. And I say consistent across social media. I do not have a photo for every platform. I use the same photo basically for all platforms. I'm in red, that's my brand color. And of course, it's professional. I do not use animals. I do not use couples, me and my spouse or my boyfriend. It's about business, and I want to present myself as such. And definitely we must fill out those summaries and let people know who you are, where you've been, and of course, how you serve them is very important. And also, I believe having a clickable link that will take them to various information that you want them to see, so that they can see what you have been doing, such as your YouTube channel, LinkedIn channel, depending on what platform you're on. These platforms allow you to post links that will take them back to other platforms, because it's all about being visible and showing up professionally so that people will want to connect with you. That's the main thing, is optimizing your profiles across social media. That's number one.
And I think you also mentioned this during our last segment, is be consistent. So I would say what is the next is once you have your accounts, once you have your profile done, what's next? What's the next thing that they need to do?
Oh, I'm glad you asked that question. The next thing you do, now that we have those profiles up and running, we are ready to get to work and start engaging and posting. We must post good quality content. And number one, affirmations is always an easy post. There are always such powerful words in affirmation. You can create them on your own on Canva. You can have my team create you a series of them for minimal cost. You can also go to Google, and there are affirmations already written. All you have to do is tell them, send me something that talks about, send me an image on leadership. Show me an image or affirmation image on resilience. Show me an image on teamwork. All these images will pop up, and you get to choose what you want to post. But again, also posting videos. 60-second videos are always a bonus. If you keep it under 60 seconds, and everything we do, we're giving them information, we're giving them inspiration. It's always positive. And you can do a 60-second video. When you do it 60 seconds, you can post on all platforms. But if you do it beyond 60 seconds, then every platform has its own ratio, and you have to go by those ratios in order to get your video on that. Everybody loves videos. Videos are queen, and I say content is king. And of course, definitely, you must comment with other people. I see people, I don't know them, I don't have to know them. I go down a thread, and when the feed does just what it says. It feeds you all day long. I don't have to know them, but if I see something that catches my eye, all I have to do, leave a comment, or I can leave emoji. And sometimes that person will come to me in the chat, Facebook Messenger, say, you commented on my post. Thank you. So what I'm saying is it opened doors of opportunity when we engage. We must go back and engage when we post. Also, I talked about live videos. And when you're doing your live videos, smile, smile, smile. Erica,
I laughed at that.
Energy sales, Erica.
And it does. And I'm laughing because I sometimes am so intent in listening to people that I get that RSB a little bit. And I want to make sure that I don't do that, because then it looks like I'm not happy to be here. And so I'm laughing at myself because I have to remind myself to smile, even though I want to be here and I'm happy about it. My face does that. True. It's you need to be seen as approachable. And when you are smiling, you do feel that approachability, right? But also, as you said, engaging. Because if you put something out there and you're hoping for somebody to work with you based on your content, but you're not engaging with them, am I going to do that when you're my client, right? That they might be thinking that. And I think that's so important to remember. We must engage in those who are interested in what we're putting out there.
And Erica, I want to say this too, just for, like you said, for some people who not sure, well, what do I say when I go on social media? The first thing I do, also, one of the things that I do is also I always impose a question. Because I'm connected to, God knows, well, we know Facebook allow you to do 5,000 over, it's thousands all over the place. So I'm not going to remember all these people that we're connected to. But what I do is when people connect with me and they ask me to be their friend, I always make the first comment. I always open that door. So if you join with me on Facebook and you send me a friend request, I'm going to accept your friend request, and then I'm going to hit that button next to it that says message. That message is going to come to you as a direct message in Facebook Messenger. Now what I've done, Erica, I just took you offline. I took you offline into my territory, and I got you all by myself. And now I'm going to say to Erica, thank you so much for sending me a friend request. What do you do as an entrepreneur? Or how long have you been an entrepreneur? Or how good is your business? If you're in business, how things working for you? Now, guess what, Erica? Once I ask you that question that I'm going to ask you, I'm leaving. I'm going somewhere else. Because you know what? I got to give you time to respond. Now, I don't have to remember your name, because you're going to respond if that question resonates with you, if you're my target market. And I already know you my target market, because when you asked to be my friend, you know what I did? I looked at your Facebook page. And if it's a man on that Facebook page trying to connect with me and he just got a dog in his hand and nothing else on his page, I'm done. But if it's a man and he got a speaking up there, he got a word speaking up there, he got a word business up there, he got people that he's networking, I'm looking at that page because I have to target my market.
Exactly. And you have to be, you have to establish yourself online. You have to have that brand that's going to resonate with people, and it requires a strategic approach. So we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to finish out the show with tips and tricks to become visible. So stay tuned. This is Get Rooted Radio with Erica Gifford Mills. Living it up, loving it up, letting it go. We'll be right back. Well, welcome back to Get Rooted Radio with Erica Gifford Mills. Living it up, loving it up, letting it go. If you missed any of the information during the last segments, go to getrootedradio.com to listen to the replay. Don't forget to subscribe, sign up for tips and special events and pricing for upcoming coaching sessions at getrootedradio.com. Welcome back to my guest, Dr. Patricia Rogers of Unity Service, Inc. Thank you so much for being on the show today.
Awesome. Again, I'm so happy that I am here, and I am certainly enjoying this segment, all three segments. So I hate for it to end, but I know it has to end sometime.
Well, and listeners, you don't have to have it end for you and Dr. Patricia. Tell them how they can connect with you and learn more about some of your upcoming events.
Awesome. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I would let anyone can connect with me or see who I am. First of all, I'm going in by Googling me. You can Google me and it will direct you to my LinkedIn page. It would direct you to our YouTube page. It would also direct you to my website, drpatriciarogers.com. There you can get a free gift on 11 tips on how to get speaking gigs. If you are a speaker or you would desire to speak, or if you want to be speaker, all doors are open to all of us. All we have to do is take the leap, do the work. And of course, I am on Facebook. So again, Google me and Google will take you to all of my locations. And that's it. Doesn't get any easier than that.
Awesome. So during the last few segments, we discussed how you got started, what Unity in Service was, crafting a memorable brand, and developing an online presence. And a lot of folks, sometimes they feel stuck, right? They feel like they're just not ready. And I would say, waiting to feel ready, it's the fastest way to not go anyplace. It's like being on a stationary bike and actually thinking that you're going to ride to a destination. And you don't get ready by just sitting there. Mm-hmm. So I think during this last segment, I'd love for you to tell our listeners about how do we make all of this happen with some tips and tricks.
Oh, wow. Tips and tricks. And yes, you covered a lot of stuff, Erica. A lot of things that we covered has to do with us showing up on social media, being visible. Because again, as I always say, if you're not there, nobody sees you. And if they don't see you, they're going to go to someone else. And branding is everything. We cannot let the world know who we are and how we can enhance their lives if we do not get up, suit up, and show up on social media. In person is a bonus, but online, it's not going anywhere. And that's one of the safest places you can be, but one of the tips I would like to share, 5 tips and a few tricks, I guess. But I know leveraging, I like to elaborate on leveraging social media. We talked about that. The key word to that is, again, I cannot say it enough, is consistency. If you post regularly with value-driven content, such as reels, carousels, and we have the stories, all of those things take very little effort. And if you just do it consistently, even the shorts on YouTube, take a 30-second video, 60-second video, you can do it live, or you can record your video on your phone and then post up. Whatever it takes, you got to get over the fear of it. You got to get over the fear of the unknown, and you got to just do it. You got to do it. And of course, by engaging with other people, it allows you to tap into their audience. And this is what makes our numbers go up, because analytics are very essential and we need to know the numbers. Also, speaking on virtual stages, that's huge. That's what we do. Unity in Service, we set a platform so that entrepreneurs can speak, promote your product and service, increase your leads so that you can get new clients. Doesn't get any better than that. So if you want to speak, get over the fear, schedule on our calendar. My calendar is on my website, drpatriciarogers.com. It's on every page of my website. Schedule, meet with me, and we would love to get you scheduled up to speak at one of our future workshops, events, as well as our virtual events. And of course, webinars is a huge one. But the main thing I want to talk about is them podcasts. Those podcasts. Here you have it right now, ladies and gentlemen. I introduce you to Erica Guilford Mills. Come on, give us some energy, ladies and gentlemen. So if y'all want to interview and y'all want to be in this seat, this hot seat that she has me in, reach out to Erica, because this podcast is going to be all over social media. She has her network to share her interview to. But guess what happens when she sends me my copy? Whoop, whoop, it's over. It's a wrap. And when she sends it to me, now I'm not only promoting Patricia Rogers, I'm also promoting Erica Mills, because she's on here too. Then when my team, they see me promoting this video, this interview, they already know what time it is. Well, let me share mine. And my team is global. They're in London. They're in Cameroon. They're in Haiti. They're in what's the other one? At any rate, they're all over the place. And they, of course, are in the U.S. So I'm letting you all know this is how it works when it comes to being visible. And that, my friend, is not a trick. That's a tip. But you have to share other people's stuff, because when
Right.
you share their content, it automatically is going to bring you into their audience. And that's how we build our analytics.
And that's so important to say, because sometimes people think, well, but I'm on your show, so what does that do for me, right? You've just expanded your audience because that person saw from here, and you're like, wait, how did you hear about me again? Where did you get this information? So, when you put out that ripple effect, right? You start putting your feet in the water, you get onto those stages, you get onto virtual. I know people say, well, I don't have the money to travel and do all these speaking engagements all over the world. It doesn't have to be. It can be virtual, and you can still, because virtual hits all over the world. You
Right.
get it out there, you get it on social media, you get it on YouTube, and you see how things go viral. And you have to put yourself out there. You have to be consistent, and you just have to do it.
Absolutely. I love it. And you're so right. We can't elaborate on that enough. And also speaking showcases your expertise. And when we say speaking, again, I don't want it to be limited to people just thinking that you are on a stage. I'm speaking right now, and I'm on a podcast. Yeah. I'm speaking, and when I do videos on social media, I'm still speaking. So for those of you who think that you're not a public speaker, if you can talk, and if you can type, and if you use your text, and if you use your Facebook message, if you are a speaker. It's just a matter of crafting what you want to say, how you want to say it, and when you want to say it. Speaking showcases your expertise, and of course, it builds your authority. So don't take it lightly. And one other tip that I do want to share is that whenever we're posting on social media, anytime we post, for the most part, always remember to do a call to action. This at the bottom of my screen, it says in-person event. I had the other one up for the April event. Well, now I'm talking about the October event. That is a call to action. I'm calling you all to take action and go to that website, speakersconference.eventbrite, and check it out and secure your vending spot, your speaking opportunity that's going to be in Atlanta, Georgia. I can't give you cannot, or I cannot give a person all of the information when you're posting on social media, when you're on a virtual platform, when you're even in person. So what do? We have to share a call to action link that will take them where we want them to go. Do you agree, Erica?
Absolutely. And definitely check that out. So Dr. Patricia, I really appreciate you being on the show today, and I want to thank you for all you do for everybody out there. And if you don't know what to do next, reach out, because that's what Dr. Patricia and her team are here for. So take a moment, go to the call to action link, and check out what she has to offer.
Awesome. And lastly, I want to talk about events. That's my zone of genius. That's your zone of genius. It's just getting people in front of other people is my zone of genius. That's your zone of genius. Visibility is what it's all about, ladies and gentlemen. And I want to say, if you're not sure on how to host events, co-host with somebody else. Collaborate with them, get with them, and then you learn from them. When you pour into them, I had a lady today, she called me from an event I met her at about a week ago, a luncheon. And she called me today, and we was just talking, and she asked me 3 times, what can I do to serve you? Because she knows I host events. She knows I have one coming up on the 25th because I did my follow-ups, and they all know that I met at that luncheon. And I followed up, and she wrote me, I want to know more about it. And this lady asked me on the phone 3 times, what can I do to help you with your events? And basically, after the 3rd time she asked me, I said, let me just go in. Because a lot of times people ask you that, they don't mean it. I told her I will give you an affiliate link. You will make, the tickets are only $15 at this particular event. But all events I have, I will give her an affiliate link, and she will get half the cost of the ticket that she sells. Why did I do that, ladies and gentlemen? Because she has a network that I may never see until she bring me in. So everybody has a network. And when we pour into other people, you said it earlier, Erica, when you pour into other people, God sees your heart, and he's going to send people your way to pour into you. That's just the way it works. So collaboration is huge. IG Lives is huge, and you can always try to share other people's content. A lot of people scared to hit that share button. I hit that share button, and on LinkedIn, I hit that repost button. Why? Because it goes back to the person, If Erica posted this video of something about her and I saw it, I'm connected to her, I'm going to hit that repost button. And when I hit that repost button, it's going to go back to Erica on LinkedIn. And LinkedIn is going to tell Erica, Dr. Rogers just reposted your content. Ladies and gentlemen, the systems are already in place. The work is done for you. All we have to do is learn how to use them. And if you need some coaching, I'll be your coach. I do that too. Anything has to do with technology, leaving the corporate arena, 29 years in corporate America, working in law enforcement, I came in this arena technically fully loaded. I'm good, y'all. That part I didn't have to master. I'm good with that one. So I love you, Erica. I appreciate you for having me on the show today.
And thank you so much again. And I want to thank you all for tuning in to Get Rooted Radio. If you missed any part of today's episode or want to listen again, go to getrootedradio.com for the podcast. And don't forget to tune in the first and third Monday of each month at 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. Pacific, right here on Transformation Talk Radio. Before I sign off, ask yourself if you are living a rooted life with appropriate boundaries. Are you the hero of your story? If the answer is no, set up your Empower Hour call with me. Go to getrootedradio.com to find out how I can help you take action now. And if you're ready to live, love, and let go, then my award-winning book and companion workbook, The Rooted Life, Live, Love, Let Go, is for you. Check out the bundled deal at getrootedradio.com under the author section. Also, check out my new collaboration work, Cracking the Rich Code Volume 16, that has been endorsed by Tony Robbins. And out soon, I have 2 new books. Collaboration book with Kevin Harrington called The Impact Leaders, and another solo book titled Rooted Leadership, Growing from Within to Lead with Strength, both due out later on this year. And one last personal message. If you are hurting or need help, please know the world needs you. It is a better place with you in it. Don't let the hard days win. Reach out for assistance. Call or text the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, or text HOME, HOME, to 741-741 to reach a trained crisis counselor through the crisis text line. Thank you for tuning in. Have an amazing day. Know that you are loved, and I'm looking forward to the next time on Get Rooted Radio with Erica Gifford Mills. Living it up, loving it up, letting it go. Goodbye, everybody.
Thank you for listening to Get Rooted Radio with Erica Gifford Mills, living it up, loving it up, and letting it go. Visit getrootedradio.com if you've missed any part of this hit show, and tune in on transformationtalkradio.com to live fearlessly in your more and powerfully rooted in your unlimited yes. For more information and to work with Erica directly, visit getrootedradio.com. That's getrootedradio.com, and get ready to live it up, love it up, and let it go.